Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com
We were on the break!
with Ambar Garcia, Brian Broaddus, Vach Lombardi, and Derek Eagleton.
It is Friday, August 1st, 2025, season 21, episode number 10. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break. We're live from Oxnard, California. Cowboys don't have practice today, but we're still here. We're talking Cowboys football. They'll be back at practice tomorrow. Then we'll have another day on Sunday before next week's gauntlet, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. They got practice heading into their first preseason game on Saturday against the Rams. That Tuesday practice will actually be versus the Rams. The Rams will be out here in Oxnard. So if you're in the area and want to come by, that's a great day to come out and watch a little football between the two. It's probably going to be a little more action than that than maybe even in the preseason games. Yeah. So those are always fun when you have the joint practices. So we'll see how that goes.
You think he plays his starters a series or two?
You know what?
Is that a question you want to hold?
No. That's actually a good question because I'll tell you this.
I know, but I want to get into it just a little bit because I'm not with you guys.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say, do you feel like that he is? I kind of feel like he might.
Yeah, I do too.
I think this cat's a little different that way.
Here's what the only thing I wonder, and we're about to get into this.
With all the injuries?
I wonder with that growing injury list, does that make him say, I wanted to, but man, I don't know if I can justify it. Because right now the injury list is pretty substantial.
I think you might see some, not all.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Dak Prescott shouldn't take a snap in the preseason. You just don't. You don't risk it. I think he's looked good enough out here to where, like you let him practice against the Rams. That smile tells me you think otherwise, Broaddus.
Come on, man.
What?
Go play some football, right? Go play football.
Yeah, against the Eagles week 1.
Right.
Go play football, man.
He's playing football.
Look, this reminds
Why are
me
you guys all getting scared now about playing in practice
I'm
football?
with you for the first time ever. I agree.
Wow, ever?
I
Worked with this lady for 11
no.
years. She's
For
finally
preseason, like for preseason stuff, playing starters.
I knew I could draw you in, Amber. I knew it.
This is the one time that I'm like, yeah, I feel like you need to. You have to.
For longtime breakers, this is an age-old debate between, you remember Brian and Dave?
Oh, yeah.
You remember Hellman was very much like, I don't want to
yeah.
see a starter until week 1 of the NFL season, and Brian's like, you gotta play football, man. And Hellman's just not feeling it. But I agree with you that I think this coach is different. I think this coach.
I said 1 quarter.
What?
A little quarter.
All right.
A little quarter. Won't hurt nobody.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, let's talk about the injuries,
Okay.
though. This injury list.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, it's all
derail
good.
you.
This injury list is pretty substantial.
bad you're wrong,
I guess
Tommy.
the one that's most interesting right now, the injury that's most
Someone
interesting
clip
right
this.
now is Shavon Revel. What do we know about his injury and where he is in his recovery at this point?
Yeah, I think, Revel, I know there's some reports out there that week 1 was kind of the goal. I think that was always lofty. I think that was always a very optimistic view of things of, hey, if this rehab is going ahead of schedule, then maybe. But the other thing, too, is this staff doesn't want to throw Shavon Revel right into the fire. Like, if they can't get this guy a couple of weeks of practice, and get his legs under him and get acclimated to what it's like to play NFL football, much less making a jump from a school like East Carolina to now playing against A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith week 1. So they want to get this guy acclimated, but I think his recovery is going to take a little bit longer. So I know the word setback was used a little bit, and I don't know if there was a setback, but I've heard just talking to some people around the building that there may have been a slight tweak in something while he was going through on-field work and recovery, but nothing that deterred his timeline drastically, if at all. It's just, these injuries are different for every player, right? I think Javonte Williams was talking about it earlier this offseason where it's different in every situation. The Cowboys are in no rush to bring Shavon Revel back, nor should they be. And, it wouldn't shock me if this is a guy who starts the year on PUP and misses those first 4 games. But after that, you could see him work into this cornerback rotation.
Boss, I used the word setback to a guy. I got slapped.
That's why I said that's not what it was.
Yes, the guy, too.
I got slapped.
Yeah, that's not what it was.
I said, hey, setback, and literally right hand to face of me. Yeah, I think Tommy's onto this, though. This rehab has been unique in a lot of different ways. And I mean unique and maybe difficult at times. You know, it's tough. He goes from rehabbing before he was drafted, and now he gets picked up, gets drafted, and now he's part of the Britt Brown program and stuff. And the expectations, and we were hearing that, like, okay, well, he's going to be back, and and I was even hearing that. I'm like, hey, we're not going to put him out there until he's 100%. But I think this one, Tommy's right. I think this thing is going to take some time. But I was also told we don't know the timetable.
Yeah.
We don't know that,
Yeah.
And I know in 105.3, The Fan, we got to visit with his dad a little bit. His dad said some things that kind of caught some people's attention.
Yeah.
Dad's not doing the rehab. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, I don't think there was a setback. I just think that they're being really measured of how they're getting him ready for this thing. And so I think your assessment is probably pretty close.
And I want to make it clear again that I'm not saying there was a setback. There was no.
No.
setback
But his dad said dad said there was a setback on our station, on the flagship station for the Cowboys, 105.3 The Fan. Make sure you listen to a pre and post game show with us all the time. But that's where we got to be careful, because Pops, great man, senior, he was very he's very upbeat and all that, but like I said, they don't have that timetable. And like I said, when I said the word setback, I caught it straight right.
Yeah.
And so I learned my lesson.
And here's the thing, too. Britt Brown is one of the best in the game, if not the best in the game, in terms of getting these guys back and ready. So just let him do his thing.
Yeah.
Let him do his thing.
Players working hard, though.
Absolutely.
He really is. The
He wants to play.
They're excited about what the players try to do. But his rehab up until this point was not a Dallas Cowboy done rehab. And there's certain things that they want to be able. And I think it's a little bit like the same thing with Diggs. I think Diggs has looked fine. We'll see how this all plays out. I'm so ready for all this to go away.
Well, that's the thing. It's like
I'm so ready for the Micah and listen, this Micah thing too is. I'm sorry, Ambar.
No, go ahead.
It's difficult. It's difficult. Both sides are there. This is a struggle, and the Diggs thing, it's a struggle, and everything's a struggle right now. The one thing that they can control is those practices, and we need to talk about those practices, because there's been some good practicing out here.
Yeah.
It's this off the field kind of stuff that just it drains you. It drains you when you're watching out here, because that's all people want to talk about. Well, contract. Why is he saying this? Why is he saying? Well, let me tell you that Nate Thomas had a really good day yesterday blocking. You know what? Awesome Richards. I'll tell you what, man. If Nealon, if they get Nealon playing the pass, that's what I want to talk about.
There's a lot of good stuff.
That's what I want to talk about right now. But this off the field stuff is draining.
We're going to get to Micah and talk a little bit more in
Sorry, I
depth
didn't mean
about
to
some of
kill
that.
your
No, it's all
vibe there.
good. Talk about a little bit more. I did have a couple more injuries I wanted to catch up on. What do we know about Tyler Smith? He missed practice. Says that there's some knee tendonitis. What are we hearing about him?
Knee soreness. Really more just almost like a day off, like just giving him some rest time. But that's nothing serious. He'll be fine.
That's perfect. That's what we don't need to. Because in an offensive line that right now, it just seems like it's just getting better.
My old LSU buddy's coming in town.
Yeah.
My old crawfish cooking buddy, Lyle Collins.
Yeah.
I did. I spoke to Will McClay on this one. And I asked Will, I said, hey, where are we at on this? And he says, just work out, Brian. Just work out. Let's see where we're at. And so, Lyle Collins has been working with Duke there in Frisco, and everybody that Duke's touched has had a lot of good camps out here and stuff like that. But Will just said, Brian, this is just a workout right now. We'll see where we're at.
Yeah. Real quick, Miles Sanders. What do we know about Miles Sanders right now?
Miles Sanders is a bone bruise, but nothing considered to be serious either. If he misses a couple more practices, that would probably be to be expected. But if he's back early too, wouldn't shock me. So more reps for Jaden Blue with the ones, which we saw yesterday.
By the way, we're seeing good things.
Yeah, he had the run of the day yesterday. I think when you talk about just cutting, Jaden Blue is the best cutter as a running back on this team. I think he's just so smooth and can jump around and can get to two different spots really quick. And he showed that yesterday. He had the run of the day when he.
Turpin would like a word with you.
Yeah, well, I said Turpin's wide. I would consider Turpin a wide receiver.
But you're right about Blue. You're absolutely right about that.
When you talk about Turpin, Nick and I were having this conversation yesterday, and I was like, and we both play fantasy football. I was like, late round. I might be willing to jump in on Turpin in a late round just because the way they're using him, like he's getting a lot of opportunities in a lot of different ways. And we've talked about on this show, like the talent that you have in Cavante Turpin, if the coach really was dedicated to making sure he's a part of the offense, he could be a great weapon, one of the best weapons in the NFL. Because we see it out here with his speed, his shiftiness, like he has those skills where he can be a problem for teams. And it looks like from what we're seeing out here, it looks like they're going to be dedicated to ensuring he's going to be a part of this offense.
When the head coach came out and told you too the other day that the defensive coordinator standing over there and going, he's not in the game, and now you send him in, that lets you know he's going to use this cat.
Yeah, he believes in what
he's going to affect the defensive coordinator that way. He's going to use this.
Well, they showed him yesterday. They did like Dak did a fake toss throwback to Turpin, and they just sent 5 guys in space. If you give that guy a convoy and some green grass, good luck,
defense
man.
Can't see him.
Good luck.
They can't see him.
Good luck.
All right, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about Micah Parsons. There's some news reporting that's out there.
It's enjoyed you. I've been nice to be with you guys.
Interesting things there. I mean, really interesting things. We'll talk about it in the next segment. We'll be back. DallasCowboys.com radio.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. I mean, you might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
Don't put off getting your oil change, Dallas. Take 5 Oil Change, a proud partner of the Cowboys, is faster than you think. There's no appointment needed and no waiting room. Yep, you heard that correctly. Take 5 is so fast, you don't even have to get out of your car. You can take advantage of Take 5's fast, friendly, and simple service at any of their locations across the Dallas area. And remember, at Take 5, you stay in your car because they're faster than you think. Take 5, the official oil change of the Dallas Cowboys.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
Life doesn't stop when the economy is uncertain. The market might not care you have a wedding to plan or a kid to put through school. And inflation doesn't know you've got a family to feed. But Bank of America does, and is here to help. With digital tools to help you save and local experts nearby, you can keep life moving forward the way you need it to. Bank of America. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com. Bank of America N.A., member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
Back to the break.
Choose perfection. Choose LG OLED Evo. Check out the best TV in the game at lg.com.
Welcome back. It is the second segment of the break live from Oxnard, California. This segment brought to you by blockchain.com.
Ding.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about Micah Parsons. There was some reporting that, I don't know, it came out late last night, early this morning, but there was reporting that he
Can we say the lady's name?
Yeah, sure. Diana Rossini.
Diana Rossini.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the net of it was that Micah is at this point considering the possibility of doing more to kind of exercise whatever leverage he may have, whether that be requesting a trade. I think in her tweet she said something effective, severing his relationship. I'm not sure what that means. But what do you guys make of all of that as far as what's being said that Micah may be considering relative to the reality of the situation that he's in?
You know what? Yeah, you just knew that I hate every minute of this talking about this.
I wanted you to talk first so you could get it out of the way.
No, I'm fine. I really do think this is really this part of it's kind of difficult because, to me, first off, I don't think the Cowboys would trade him. I just don't. I don't think if that's something he's going to request, I don't think the Cowboys trade him. So let's take that back.
Yeah.
The next thing is, though, you start to talk about severing ties. The franchise tag was put in place for a reason, though, and that's for the teams to have the ability to keep a player, under contract that they don't want to lose. Dallas has got a couple options with him, and if you do the math, it's actually less than what he would make, for the life of a contract and still have him playing. What you have to bet on then is Micah going to miss any games? Is he going to miss game checks? If me looking at this, the fact that he's doing a hold-in right now tells me he doesn't want to get fined $50,000 a day. That tells me right there that Micah really appreciates money, the value of a dollar. He's not going to let money just go away just for this, the fact he's here. I know he's frustrated. I know the Cowboys are frustrated. Hopefully they'll figure this thing out, but the Cowboys have a lot of leverage here in the way this thing is going to work. And so, to me, the quicker maybe that Micah could say, okay, let's do this deal, but the Cowboys have to be willing to do that too. And I think there's a lot of that. I think there's some hurt feelings on both sides. I really do.
Yeah.
And there's some okay, thought we had something here. Thought we had an agreement. I think both sides are looking at this like, no, wait a minute, you should have done this, and and the other side saying, no, you should have done that. Long way around it, though. The Cowboys are holding a lot of cards here.
Yeah,
they're holding a lot of cards here, and it's going to be very difficult for Micah, I think, to try and get what Diana Rossini tweeted out.
I think it's a frustrating situation for everyone, right? Yeah. The Cowboys don't want to be in this situation. Micah Parsons certainly doesn't want to be in this situation. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about contract negotiations, leverage is the word.
Yeah.
And Brian, you put it perfectly. The Cowboys have all of the leverage here. And I think they gained even more leverage when we were at the owners' meetings back in March, Jerry Jones said to us, Micah and I had a handshake deal.
Yeah.
Micah and I had a handshake deal. And then Micah Parsons comes out a couple months later and says, well, I want them to call my agent.
Yeah.
And essentially what that's saying is the Cowboys can look at it and say, we had a deal, and now we don't have a deal anymore. Right. Why can't we do what we originally agreed upon? And so that's the complex part, right? Because if the agent gets involved from day one, and David Mulligetta is one of the best in the game, and I know the Cowboys have respect for David Mulligetta, and that's mutual, whether or not, you can throw out they haven't talked to David Mulligetta, they have in the past, and there's respect there. This is just, I really think, is all just part of playing the game. And I think Micah Parsons is trying to levy some leverage onto his side, which, rightfully so. Micah Parsons is going to be worth every penny of whatever deal gets done, because a deal is going to get done. I would be floored if the Cowboys trade Micah Parsons. That would be the most shocking thing to ever happen, maybe since the Luka Doncic trade. It would be that level of wow, I think. Maybe even more so, just because when you have an elite pass rusher, you don't trade him. You just don't. You just don't. And Micah Parsons is one of one. What he's been able to do is unbelievable. So I think this is really just Micah Parsons trying to get leverage back on his side, because, frankly, Brian outlined it. The Cowboys can franchise tag him not once, but maybe even twice.
So it's basically 3 years.
And
There's 3 years they own.
They are saving so much money in doing that that they can use the rest of their cap to spend around him.
Yeah.
Now, Micah Parsons obviously should not. He's thinking about himself. He's trying to gain generational wealth for his family. So you understand that he doesn't want to do that.
Right.
But, at the same time, I think this all gets done at some point. And once it does get done, everybody's going to be singing Kumbaya, because we have been down this road before. They did it last year with CeeDee Lamb. They did it with Dak Prescott. It was Zach Martin, Ezekiel Elliott in the past. Eventually, something will get done. I think, again, this is just Micah Parsons trying to get some leverage onto his side, which is the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Real quick, since you mentioned the handshake situation several months ago, let's remember, a handshake doesn't include all the fine prints and details of a deal. And the reason why you pay an agent is for that agent to look out for the best deal that is for you. So just because Micah and Jerry had that conversation, whenever it happened and shook on it, doesn't necessarily mean that the agent can't come back afterwards and say, hey, no, actually this is what we want and we need. And right now, I agree with you guys. Like, yeah, the Cowboys hold all the cards, but at the same time, what does this situation mean for the team? I mean, you look at the magazine here, Brian Schottenheimer and Micah Parsons on there. Yeah, Brian is not the one saying sitting there. Yeah. He has nothing to do with those negotiations. Yeah. But, and we talk about this every year during the season. Yes, a player is always going to show up on game day and play hard. But what does that week look like? What does your commitment to the team look like when those relationships start to get all messed up? And hopefully they figure this thing out sooner than later, and we continue to say so. We only have 1 week. Hold on, I have 1 week here left. They have about a week and a half left here in Oxnard. Next thing you know, we'll be back at the Stars starting to practice, and after that, things get moving along very, very quickly. So you hope that they can get this thing done soon. We saw it with CeeDee Lamb and the way that his body took a little while to get into the season, several weeks. So you hope right off the bat against Philly that you have a Micah Parsons that is fully ready to compete.
I'll say this real quick, though, Derek. In those other deals, the other holdouts, we haven't had the back and forth between the player and the front office like this one has. You know what I'm saying? That we haven't. I mean, with CD, I didn't get the feeling that we were having a lot. It didn't seem like to me, with the player actually being here, you kind of get a little bit more of a sense of the players actually speaking and talking, and you can see body languages and stuff like that. That's what I think what's been different with this negotiation as some of the others. Those players chose to not be here, and he's here. And so now we have an opportunity to talk to him, but also, though, to kind of see the situation. And so I think both sides have said some things that have been very, very, very strong. And I think that's been the biggest difference between the other negotiations.
You're right, LeBron. Let me ask you this. Do you feel like in the other situations the player had more leverage, and maybe that's why? Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is it's hard to say because the whole thing with CD, right? I mean, they were really thinking about, what else did you have? I wonder if this organization, and I'm sorry, Tom, I didn't answer your question worth a damn there. But because I'm trying to think, I'm trying to think about the leverage situation. But I wonder if this organization is kind of looking at what Donovan Ezeraco is doing out here right now, and saying, you know what, we got Fowler, we've got Ezeraco, we've got Nealon, we've got Sam Williams. Can we play? We're seeing him getting some pass rush here. Yeah. So you wonder if is it like. Me personally, I guess I just keep saying this. I think they're betting. On Micah won't miss game checks. That's my personal view. That's not DallasCowboys.com view or anything. That's Brian Broaddus' personal view. I think they might be betting that he won't miss those, and that's where you're going to come in and play.
Different personnel, different coaching, different everything. But last year we got a taste of a couple of games where Micah wasn't on the field, and you got to see what that looked like and the impact that he makes when his presence is on the field. So yes, you can play a game, but what level are you playing?
You want an all-world guy on the field.
Do you figure out now, like you say, is Donovan Ezeraco, is he one of these guys that was picked at 44 that should have been picked at 4?
Yeah.
That's kind of should he have been picked instead of Carter from Penn State, or I'm just what I'm saying. That's what we're kind of at right now. There's a lot of things you're thinking like, damn, this kid can rush.
Yeah.
He can legitimately rush, and it doesn't matter who he's rushing against.
Yeah, but I will say to that point, as good as he is, imagine how much better he is if 11's on the field. And that's the part that I think where,
I'm
that's
with
the
you.
Rub, right?
I'm with you.
You can get all these great players you mentioned. By the way, this pass rush I think is going to be one of the strengths of this team because they're good and they're deep.
Yeah.
But imagine if however good they are and however deep they are, if they also got Micah Parsons as a part of that, they are even deeper and even better, right?
They're so much better, but you also wonder, though, to me, as I'm like, listen, maybe we're not in bad a shape if he doesn't play.
No, I get you. You're much better off than you were last year.
Much better off.
Much better off.
Much
than
better.
you were
It's
last year.
no Sam Williams, no Fowler, no. I mean,
it's their deepest position group on the roster.
Yeah, and one of their best.
Yeah,
deep and best. So I do think there's something to that. I just hope at the end of the day, and I keep saying this, we've been down the road of these standoffs. I even went back to thinking about back in, I think it was 93 when Emmett held out for like the first 2 weeks of the season.
0-2.
And they went 0-2, and then somehow the deal got done. And then they were off and running, right?
Yeah.
So we've seen this happen before. It's a part of the business of it. You kind of just work through it. My suspicion is at some point, for all the posturing and all that everybody will say, they'll get a deal done and everybody will hug and make up, and it'll be like, we love each other, and we'll move on. I think that's what ends up happening ultimately.
I think it's going to play out similar to how Dak's deal played out last year, where I don't think it gets done while we're here in Oxnard, but when we're back in Dallas before that Philadelphia game, I think Micah Parsons gets signed.
Well, I mean, what needs to happen ultimately is David Mulgeta and Jerry and Steven need to get cornered into a room to where they can't get out, and it's like, hey, guys, figure it out.
Yeah.
And I think that's how sometimes these things end up working out, is everybody's just committed to, okay, it's time to do this. And then you figure it out. Like that's how it always goes when you're talking about negotiations. Eventually, somebody has to be the one to say, okay, let's just sit down and figure this out. And then it gets worked out. All right, we're going to take our final break. When we come back, I want to talk about some of your camp observations, what you've seen out here the last couple practices. Like I said, they don't have practice today, but they will have practice again tomorrow. So we will talk about that, what you guys have seen the last couple days. We'll be back. DallasCowboys.com radio.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag & Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag & Turf, the official Ag & Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. I mean, you might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
From the field to the festivities, Lucchese embodies the essence of luxury and tradition. Handcrafted with meticulous precision, each pair offers unmatched comfort and style. Stand tall while you're tailgating or cheering in the stands with the Dallas Cowboys collection by Lucchese. Shop the collection today at the Lucchese store at the Star in Frisco or online at lucchese.com. Lucchese, the official boot of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Back to the break.
AT&T, connecting changes everything.
Welcome back. It is the final segment of the break. We are live in Oxnard, California. Let's talk about camp observations. I want you guys to go down the line and tell me again, as we do, 2 different things. I want you to tell me about a moment that you noticed, and then tell me about a player that's standing out to you. And let's go. Let's start with you, Tommy.
Dak Prescott had his best day yesterday, I think, of camp. Threw the ball really well. Still missed a couple of reads and throws, and he mentioned that kind of yesterday when he was talking to reporters. But at the same time, Easily his best day. George Pickens had, I think, 3 touchdowns from Prescott. The last one, you just kind of see the athleticism and the ball skills and what he can do in the air, body control, and just a really good day for those two to connect. I'll say that was my moment, was that Pickens touchdown, and then the player that stood out to me absolutely was Dak Prescott. He was dialed in yesterday.
I think to me, my first moment, you know me, I love a good screen game, right?
Yeah.
I'm all about the screen game. We talked about it earlier. They had a throwback screen where it went full flow going to the right, and they drew the defense. And next thing you know, we got a wall of blockers out in front, and throwing the ball. I love the fact that this coaching staff is trying to do stuff not only with the quick screens with the slots and stuff, but also throwing it to Turpin, the backside of the backfield. When you get full flow and you get everybody moving, and then the ball comes, and now you got a convoy of people leading you up the sidelines. I just love the coordination of that. So anything to do with that type of that can throw defenses off. They're going to rush. They're rushing, and now you got a screen game that Dak did a really nice job of selling it. So that's kind of my moment of the day. I'm going to talk about a rookie wide receiver and Trayshawn Holden.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, sometimes you get a receiver that they'll have an all training camp type practice.
Yep.
We've had this. It's legendary that we used to have the All Valley Ranch, and we used to have all these. But Trayshawn Holden is, and I've been really impressed because it's real easy to kind of get lost in what's going on with Pickens and Lamb and Turpin, and a little bit now with Mingo and Tolbert. I'll say this, though, with Holden, he has shown up when they've thrown him the football, whether it's inside stuff, up the field stuff. He can't.
Back of the end zone stuff.
Back of the end zone stuff. He's been able to make some really awesome catches, adjusting along the way. He's probably not the best separator when it comes to running routes and stuff, and he finds ways, but when he gets the ball in his area, the guy's coming down with the ball. So tip the cap to him. This has been kind of a difficult group because we focus on the top 4 or 5, but he's making that push. Like if this team does keep a 6th wide receiver, would he be that guy? But guys like Brooks, others, they've shown up, but give a tip of the cap to the rookie for making some plays here the last couple of days.
Yep.
Yeah, that was my guy as well. I mean, he's a guy that you didn't really know much about, and then you start seeing, number 7, not Trevon Diggs, by the way. Obviously, he's wearing the white jersey, but 7. Oh, there's 7 again. Oh, wait, who made that catch? Oh, 7. So there's no way to avoid him. He's been catching your eyes, and is one of those you're getting to that point where you have to learn the name, keep an eye, and I'm trying not to get too excited because we always see a guy like that stands out here every single year, and then your expectations rise, and you start expecting this awesome moment, and then it doesn't pan out to be that way. But also at the same time, you gotta give credit where credit is due and earn, and he's earned that, and he's been doing amazing. So I'm excited and wonder how he would fit in. How do they keep him, and how much would they play him in the preseason? As far as a moment, and I don't mean to make this a bad thing because it's been exciting, but every time before practice while they're warming up, you always see some little gimmick going on, some fun little activity with the coaches. And yesterday, Rowdy was out there doing drills, warming up with the guys, and it's fun. It gets you excited, pumped up. But my question to you guys is, as we continue to post these things on social media, and then you get the fans starting to look at that and the criticism, and then tie that into every little bad news that comes out as far as injuries later on or whatever. But as far as these warm-ups and excitement, do you guys, how are you guys taking this? Do you guys like it, or are you at a point where you're like, okay, let's focus on football now?
Here's the deal. With anything that happens out here, that or anything else, I am always of the belief that I'm never going to prejudge how effective a specific method or a thing that a coach wants to do is or is not. What I want to see at the end of the day is, what is the result? Yeah. If as we've said, They've had practices that we feel like are energetic. It's the one thing you hear from everybody that if you ask them, what do you think of training camp this year? One thing I hear consistently from people, and what I've seen consistently, is the energy's up. If that's the kind of thing that the coach believes gets the energy up, then great. I could care less. And I don't think that the coach should be concerned about what detractors might say about it if he's getting the result that he wants to get. And then ultimately, all of it still comes back to, as you get into the season, are you winning games? If you're winning games, great.
Yeah.
Have a rowdy on a surfboard and surfing through practice. Like, whatever you want to do, as long as you're winning games, great. Keep it going. If you're not winning, that's when I think you have to kind of reevaluate and say, are you distracted? Those other things that you would say as a detractor, I think all those things become fair if they ultimately don't lead to winning, because winning is it's a bottom line business. If you're winning, great. If you're not, you better change some things up.
Yeah, I've yet to get used to the music going the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, through all these practices, I think we're 8 practices through now, and I haven't got used to that because I'm used to hearing coaching and I'm used to hearing communication and I'm used to hearing. But hey, if like you said, it's going to be all about winning. If it's winning, there'll be more people that won't be doing 9-on-7, and there'll be more people doing more team stuff, and there'll be more music playing the whole practice. And it's not because I'm an old guy or something, but it's just something you just.
Well, it's different.
It's
different than what you're used to.
Because you're used to the players making checks, and you can hear it, and you can hear the coaches coaching the players, and that's what I always got out of that. But and can I mention one guy real quick too? Yeah. You ever notice Christian Matthew the cornerback?
Yeah, he had a couple good plays yesterday.
He's actually had a couple of good days where all of a sudden he gets off the bus and now he's making plays, in a secondary that kind of needs some corner help, and you're thinking camp body guy and all that. But 37, Christian Matthew, really nice job of him the last couple of days, getting in the way, being in coverage, knocking the ball down, knocking another ball down, but being around, coming up and tackling, coming and forcing. And sometimes you get guys that come off the street, it takes them forever to kind of, and then they're like just a camp guy then. This guy looks like he's got a little feel for how to play the game. So I just wanted to point him out as well.
I will also throw out one observation, and you talked about it a little bit, Tommy, how you thought Dak had a great day yesterday. As a part of that, one thing we saw yesterday, I think, that we hadn't really seen at the level that we saw yesterday was the deep ball.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like every other play. Downfield, Turpin downfield. Pickens downfield, CD downfield, and they were connecting on a lot of them. The guys were getting open, that's a part of it, but they certainly were connecting on those, and that's where I think this offense can become extremely dangerous. Yeah. Because if they are going to be, as the coach talks about it, if they are going to find a way to establish that they are a physical run, power run team, and then they have all these weapons that you can't double everybody, and those guys are taking shots downfield. After a defense is thinking we gotta press up to the line of scrimmage to stop this run, we gotta press up to, and then you create those opportunities, man-to-man coverage. That's where this offense gets really dangerous. So I was excited to see that. I think that could be a really, really big thing for this offense.
And what's going to be really big is the play-action game, right? That's where Dak Prescott statistically has been his best over his career. He had the play-action deep ball to George Pickens, and that's just a flash of what you can have. And Brian Schottenheimer had said, "Hey, we're going to work up to these deep balls, right? We're going to try to avoid all this soft tissue stuff. We're going to get these guys' legs under them." Now they're getting their legs under them. CeeDee Lamb on 105 Through the Fan yesterday was saying, it usually takes about 2 weeks for you to feel kind of game ready. I don't think that's exactly what he said. I'll just paraphrase. But Dak Prescott said the same thing yesterday. Right around that time is when you start to feel like, okay, I can probably go out and play a game now. So that it makes sense that now is when we're starting to see this deep ball kind of ingrained in. And even in one-on-ones, I understand it's one-on-one, not 11-on-11, but those first 3 guys, Lamb, Pickens, and Mingo, first 3 plays, all won. I think CeeDee Lamb flashed the great late hands, over Deron Bland with good coverage, and Lamb just track, and then as soon as the ball there, he extends his hands and gets it. And then Pickens, we've seen it his whole career. He's a deep ball
Him in the
threat.
red zone looks like he could be a problem for people.
Yeah, it's gonna be a problem, and I think he moves a lot better than people give him credit for.
Yeah,
He's
a
much
tall,
better,
long guy,
much better after the catch too than a lot of people give him credit for. I've been harping on that. So, yeah, this is going to be a if they can get the deep ball, it's going to greatly boost their offense. I know that's pretty easy to say, right?
Yeah.
If you can connect on the deep ball, but now they have another guy aside from CeeDee Lamb who can go and get it downfield too.
Yeah, I want to flip this conversation before we end the show. I want each of you to tell me one player that you think really needs a good day out here. Haven't really shown a lot or hasn't shown good things. A guy that you feel like he's due for a really good day to kind of get him back in the mix.
Jalen Tolbert. I think he's had a couple rough days.
That's a good one.
And Jonathan Mingo's putting together a really good camp.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I understand 7 receiving touchdowns led the team last year, but Jalen Tolbert's had some rough days. He could use a bounce back.
Trying to see. I would say we talked about him a couple of weeks ago. Hunter Lipke. I would expect him to be doing a lot more by now. Sorry. With what was said at the beginning of camp, him being a specific name that Brian Schottenheimer mentioned, a guy that we've seen him have the talent and the capability to be useful on the team and be a weapon. I feel like I would like to see more. Like I think he's starting to kind of disappear in the shadows a little bit, and I'm seeing at the time, it's always you get to see a lot of Deuce Vaughn, and now he's recovering and all that, but he's a guy that I want him to take a step forward and see doing a lot more on the field.
I kind of feel like that John Stevens has lost a little steam, and these with Span Ford being out, Stevens has gotten more opportunity. He's 2 years, 2 knee surgeries. He's wearing a knee brace on the left knee. It's not a bulky one. It's kind of a lightweight one, and he's doing the best he can. And they're having him get involved in some stuff. He's playing as the move guy, the inside blocker, down the field, things like that. He's had a couple of drops. The Tolbert one, by the way, was really, really good, Tommy. That was that one he needs to have. But if you look at overall, though, too, John Stevens is not having the type of camp that we've seen John Stevens in the past have.
Yeah, I saw one of the drops he had yesterday, and when I was watching, I was just thinking, man, that's the catch last year, year before last, before he got hurt, he would have easily made.
Yeah.
And I just wonder if some of this is just the confidence in the injury, and kind of just it takes a little bit mentally
time,
sometimes
and
to get yourself back right, even though you're
2
physically
years.
there.
This is
it's
year
just,
3, right?
Yeah, and you wonder like how much that factors in when he's gotten hurt out here twice.
Yeah.
And does that play into it where he's worried about that? I don't know that. I haven't talked to him about that, but I just wonder if that's a part of it.
It doesn't look like he's very confident.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Both on the field and in his knee, and that's a tough part. I think something that we don't talk about enough in the media is the mental block that guys have to overcome when they have a major knee injury. Like Trayvon Diggs is going to have to go through it. Shavon Revel is going to have to go through
Trusting
it. Being able to trust your knee again after incurring one of the most brutal injuries in sports. It's tough. It's really tough, and we've seen it, affect a lot of guys over the years who were stars before they got hurt, and then afterwards we're just never the same. That's not to say you can't be the same, but there's a mental aspect to this that is very important, and I don't think we talk about it enough.
Yeah. All right, that's a wrap. We will be back with you guys next week. We'll be on Tuesday. Brian, heading back to Dallas. You have any parting words, anything you want to kind of throw out here about camp before you leave?
No, man. You know what? I will say this quickly if I can.
Yeah.
You know me, I never can. I think the practices have been super competitive. I love the aspect where there is a win on offense, and then the very next play there's a fumble, or there's an interception, or there's a sack. I love the fact that this practice has been very competitive, but it's had balance to it.
Yep.
It's not one side is just kicking the other side's ass.
Yep.
And I think that bodes very well for the style, the way he practices, the players buying into the practice. Every player that we've talked to has been very complimentary of that aspect of the practice and how they're able to get work. But, man, the balance of the practice has been very, very, very good.
I agree.
Yep. All right, that's a wrap. We'll be back next week. Till then, for Brian Broaddus,
we'll miss you.
Amber Garcia, Tommy Yarish, I'm Derek Eagleton. This has been The Break, live on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!